Jumanji The Next Level, the third film in the overall Jumanji franchise and the second film in the new kind of continuity. Now, when I was sitting down to watch this, I had a family member pass me and was like, "Is this Jumanji 2?" It's like, well, technically it's Jumanji 3. It's like, okay, is it the second film in this narrative? Like, yes. Okay then. Now, when I watched Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle, I mainly watched it because I'd seen it had a lot of big stars, ones that I was familiar with, like Dwayne Johnson, Jack Black, Kevin Hart, and Karen Gillan. And so, while I wasn't that familiar with the Jumanji, the 1995 film, I thought I'd check it out, and you know what, I found it a lot of fun. Hell, it even caused me to actually go out and buy the 1995 film, watch it through, and I enjoyed that as well. But in 2019, we got a follow up, Jumanji The Next Level. Once again, this was a film I didn't necessarily see in theatres, but I finally bought the DVD of it, sat down, watched it through, and you know what? I think it's just as much fun as the last one, although I will admit there are a few areas where maybe it didn't work quite as well as possible. So, what's the story here? You got your four basic characters from the last film: Spencer Gilpin, Martha Capley, Anthony Fridge Johnson, and Bethany Walker. Now, the film takes place around about a year or so after the events of the last film. They've all left high school and they've all kind of gone on to their own things. I mean, I believe Bethany's now sort of like kind of like a travel blogger. Spencer and Martha are both at different universities. Fridge, maybe at another university himself, and is kind of working through scholarships and games and the like. But they agree, kind of like a year after the incident, to kind of get together, have brunch, and just laugh about the good times. However, Spencer begins to worry that maybe his life isn't quite as. He's not quite up to the standards of the others. That's what he worries. So, having saved the pieces of the console and the game, he reconstructs it and then suddenly goes missing. And when the gang come looking for him, they find the repaired console and the cartridge, and it's beginning to drum. So they have to re-enter the game in order to try and find a way to get him out. But, like with everything Jumanji, nothing quite goes to plan, as the only person who actually is able to keep her avatar from the previous film is Martha, who once again assumes the avatar of Ruby Roundhouse, played by Karen Gillan. This time, Fridge ends up in the body of Sheldon Oberon, played once again by Jack Black, whereas Dr. Smolder Bravestone and Mouse Finbar are occupied by the minds of Spencer's grandfather, played by Danny DeVito, and his estranged friend Milo, played by Donald Glover. So you've essentially got Dwayne Johnson playing Danny DeVito and Kevin Hart playing playing Danny Glover. So it does have some kind of fine moments in there. Meanwhile, Spencer has ended up in the body of a new avatar named Ming Fleetfoot, played by Aquafina, who's kind of a skilled cat burglar. And they also find the plot of Jumanji has changed. It's not the one they knew before. A new villain known as Jurgen the Brutal, played by Rory McCann, has stolen a magical jewel from a tribe, and because of this, Jumanji is now in a state of immense drought. So they need to get the jewel back from him, show it to the sun, and ultimately use it to restore Jumanji to the way it was. Meanwhile, Bethany kind of she isn't sucked into the game, so she has to find a way to get in there and save her friends, eventually going to Colin Hanks' Alex Vreek for help. He once again assumes the role of Jefferson McDonough, played by Nick Jonas, and Bethany somehow ends up a horse named Cyclone. Yeah, there's some pretty mad moments in here, and I will admit they did manage to do a lot of cool stuff here, and a lot of some really good stuff, some really funny stuff, some really heartfelt stuff. I mean, at the end of the film, when they've done a bit of shuffling around and Spencer's grandfather Eddie is now occupying the body of Ming Fleetfoot, there's a moment right at the end of the film where Cyclone, who's now inhabited by Marlowe, decides to stay and look after Jumanji. And so you got essentially a moment between Eddie and Milo kind of saying goodbye to each other for the last time. And it's weird because it is Ming Fleetfoot saying goodbye to a horse, but at the same time, I couldn't help but getting a little teary eyed at it. And they did a great job with it. The one thing that I will say was a little bit of a problem for me with the movie was that when compared to the last one, it was a little difficult to tell with the lives how everyone was doing. Now, I'm not entirely sure if I've got this entirely right, so hear me out on this, but if I'm if I'm remembering this rightly, with Dwayne Johnson's character, he loses one life to an ostrich who he insults, and then another to a villain named uh, Switchblade, I think. Meanwhile, Kevin Hart loses one during a fight with Dwayne Johnson, and then Switchblade. Karen Gillan is Switchblade, and actually, for the moment, I can't remember. Jack Black loses his one to the giant snake and one to Switchblade, and yeah, I remember. Karen Gillan loses one to Switchblade and then one during a mandrill attack. Meanwhile, Ming, I believe, loses one after she gets killed by Jurgen for trying to steal a key, and then the other one was Switchblade. So, okay, I think I've got that right. I mean, it just. The deaths do come fairly fast and loose, so it was a little difficult to tell how everyone was doing in terms of lives. Like, who was down to their last one, who still had two left, and the like. So it is fairly fast paced. But once again, Jumanji, the next level, it did throw a whole lot at us, and it was really a load of fun. It managed to make us feel really sad that real sad for a woman and a horse saying goodbye to each other. That was weird, but was also really heartfelt. It gave us a beautiful moment of Spencer and Martha kept talking about their relationship while scaling an ice wall. And they did also have a lot of fun side characters in there, such as this one played by John Ross Bowie, during the final confrontation, that even he's fun in this. I mean, I've not seen very much of his work, only really a small role in one episode of Melissa and Joey, and his role as Barry Kripke in The Big Bang Theory. But it's good to see him again, and I did like his role in this. Plus, once again, Rhys Darby as Nigel Billingsley is a lot of fun as the NPC, and you know what? This film, I think, like Welcome to the Jungle, is just a whole lot of fun, and apparently they're due to make a threequel to this. So I don't know if it would be Jumanji 4 or what the like, but you know what? If you haven't seen Jumanji The Next Level yet, I urge you, just have a watch of it just once. I trust me, you'll enjoy it. Anyway, there's my quick review of Jumanji The Next Level. Sorry I couldn't say very much more on it, but I enjoyed it. Anyway, see ya.